Merry Meet. It's me, Nikki, and today I'm going to talk about what a Book of Shadows is. Now, this was something I had to explain to my family, my mom, when I first came out of the broom closet. Just because something has the word shadows in its name does not immediately mean it's evil. For example, the Book of Shadows is called such because it is kept secret. It's kept in the shadows. Anyway, so I just wanted to get that out of the way. A Book of Shadows is a book or a binder or something. Cat, stop playing with that. I hung up a bell for her so that way she could swat at it, and she's found out how to climb up on the chair to get it. But anyway, a Book of Shadows is a book or binder or folder full of paper, full of notes that you take on things, where you write down different journal entries about your religion, instructions, rituals, all sorts of things, anything that you learn or feel or just want to have a place to write something down or print something out, you put it in your Book of Shadows. It's kind of like the stereotypical witch's spell book. I personally don't have any spells in either of my pieces of my Book of Shadows, simply because I haven't done any spell work probably for about a year, any spell work like that. I mostly just write down whenever I make incenses, different things I learn about my tarot cards and spreads, any kind of cool pictures or sayings. I will save them on my computer, and then I will email them to myself and print them at the computer lab here at my apartment complex. But here are my two pieces of my Book of Shadows. Okay. This is just a binder. Any craft I do for Wicca, recently I've been making little plaques, just little wooden pieces that I paint to represent the elements that I'm going to hang up above my altar. I'll use my Book of Shadows as a little base, as you can see. So that way I don't get the paint anywhere else, but I want to give my book character. I just don't want to force it, so there's barely anything on it now. But inside, I have this little area to put things in if I don't want to use my hole punch. But first page, the Wiccan Read. Now, that's not something that you absolutely have to do. It's just for every Book of Shadows I've had. This is my second edition. I've always put the Wiccan Read at the front, so that way every time I open it, I can be reminded of just the different laws of the universe, and harm it none, do what you will. What ye send out comes back to thee, so always mind the rule of three. It reminds me why I'm coming into this little book anyway. It keeps me connected to where I believe I'm supposed to be in my path. Then I also have a little notebook that I've put in here. I've decorated it with different things. Mostly if I can't think of what I want to write in here, but I want to do something, I'll start doodling and then I'll remember. Inside this, I typically have my my shopping lists for things that I need to buy for different happenings and goings on. For example, looks like once I wanted to make a luck charm. I remember making that, actually. But I wrote down a list of acorn, daisy, maple, a golden candle, things like that. And then in here, before I had my leather book here, I also used to write down rituals. Looks like I had the ritual for the Capricorn full moon here for July 3rd of last year. And then I also, in here, in this notebook, I write prayers to my goddess and my god if I ever feel like I need just a little bit more strength. After that, I put in all sorts of information I've printed out online. Here we have sabbats and esabats. Different information on the different sabbats there, what they mean, symbols, notes on it. I actually typed most of this out before printing it. Things about the new, waxing, full, and waning moon, and then of course the dark moon. I have the most information about the dark moon because my goddess, Hecate, her main time for working magic is during the dark moon. I have some different pictures of symbols and things, including what the moon looks like during certain times. I also have a little printed area for the 13 goals of a witch. Know yourself, know your craft, learn and grow, apply knowledge with wisdom, achieve balance, keep your words in good order, keep your thoughts in good order, celebrate life, attune with the cycles of earth, breathe and eat correctly, exercise the body, meditate and honor the goddess and god. And then I have a lot of extra loose leaf paper here, where I've written down a lot of things throughout the time I've had this. And then in the very back, I just have some information about my goddess. Different folklore that I found, days that are important to her, things like that. So that's this Book of Shadows. In this one, I write things that are a little bit less personal. This is mainly just information. Okay? And then in my leather one, which you never have to have multiple, it's just I like to separate things out sometimes. But in my leather one, I write a lot more personally. In this one, in the very front page here, I wrote my dedication to my goddess and my god. I write down things that I want to learn, things that I have learned, feelings and thoughts, and let's see, I wrote in here about when I got my tattoo. I got the triple goddess moon as a tattoo. Here I have things on Samhain when that first came around, and then I have note cards in here for different prayers and different parts of the ritual I have notes on incense food and how to decorate, and then just notes on everything I did so I can remember for next year. And then I have different pages dedicated to tarot, different spreads, lots of spreads, different notes on herbs that I find, gather, or grow. Things that happen in my spiritual life. Here we have Yule. I wrote about Yule in here for 1, 2, 3 pages. Then, let's see, more tarot spreads. And now I have this whole chunk. Here, let me see. Oh. This much of my book, right here, is all dedicated to Imbolc. Mostly because this will be the first time I'm celebrating it with my own house, and I'm actually able to do a lot of the stuff that I used to really want to do. but when I lived in a Christian household, I wanted to be respectful and not get in trouble, so I wasn't able to do different things. And then I have a lot of poetry in here for things I want to say that day. And then, of course, mixed in I have my, I do a daily tarot card pull to see what the day's going to look like, so I write that in here too. I got this as a gift from Barnes & Noble, actually. It just is a huge, huge book full of blank paper, so I love this thing. But yeah, those are my books of shadows, and like I said, those weren't even the first ones I had. I had one when I first started Wicca about almost 5 years ago now, and that one was definitely full more of like spellcraft, shadow work, and things like that. I just wanted to learn everything I could, and so I had just these huge, it was just a huge binder, one of those like 4-inch ones. I don't know how big this one is, probably, this is only 1.5, but it was huge, and I had everything separated and organized on what to learn and when I wanted to learn it, but that ended up not coming with me when I left my mom's house, unfortunately. But the Book of Shadows actually, it started, I'd say, Gardner definitely had the first, like, big Book of Shadows, his grimoire, probably by the 1950s, I think. Let's see, I have it written down somewhere in my information book, but it started out as only, oh gosh, I'm not even going to be able to say this, Gardnerian. I don't know, that's not my path, I'm sorry if I mispronounce it, but it used to be specific to that tradition, and then Alexandrian adapted it, and then now most Wiccans or Wicca-like pagans, you know, have a Book of Shadows, and that's simply because, you know, people want a place to write down everything that they do and learn, and I find it to be one of the most relaxing and just spiritual things I can do if I am not in the middle of like a candle thing or a meditation thing or anything like that, and I want to be able to connect with my religion. I go straight to the Book of Shadows and I just start writing. Or I'll look up something that I heard another pagan on YouTube say, and then I'll write down information about it. That's actually one of the reasons why I started with tarot cards, is because I heard somebody explaining the history of those. So yeah, if you're looking to make a Book of Shadows, I would recommend, you know, if you want a journal like this one, that's fine. I obviously am very okay with that, but I would also really recommend having a place like a binder or a trapper keeper where you can keep anything that you find and print out, or any pictures you find, or any just facts and figures and information and blah blah blah, that would be too time consuming to write. I know that a lot of Wiccans say that you can only write things down in your Book of Shadows, but you know, everybody does their own thing a little bit differently, and I find that I could get the best information if I either type it out or print it off. Cat. So that was my little spiel about that. I'll probably be doing another video here today, since this is going to be one of my last days off. I have a busy week coming up, but you know, I'll make time for other videos, of course, but I'm going to just try to get as much done today as well. If you have any other questions for me, feel free to ask. I'll put some links below in places where you can get information about the Book of Shadows, etc., etc. Okay, so thank you for watching. I love you all dearly. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again.